Hey guys, GHAZZY TV here with another Path of Exile video, and I thought I was done recording Mage skeleton footage or content, but here we are because a guy in the chat said, you know what, that glove they showed on the mercenary that converts 100% of minions fire damage to chaos damage, can we make chaos Mage Skellies work? And I was like, we're probably going to be wanting to run like Covenant. It's going to start competing with Poison Soup, Poison SRS spills, Poison HR. And I was like, it's going to be expensive. And surely we can't get it to be higher damage numbers. Now, the PoB is going to do about 1 million more than it's showing based on some other buffs. But the current PoBs, without those buffs in play, we have 11 million Shaper DPS wearing a pair of gloves like this. So I'll probably be playing my Skelly Archer build, like I said, that's my league starter. And then I'll play Mage Skeletons, medium budgets. But if I get access to gloves like this, I will play a Chaos version out of it before I go Doriani high budgets. So let me explain how this works and the damage differences. First off, I'm going to show you medium budget Mage Skeletons numbers, which looks like this. 7,777,000 Shaper DPS. It's going to be about 8.5 with the buffs are kicked in later, but 7.7 million right now. And if you do similar budget, but the Chaos version, it would be 11 million. So it is better, but most importantly, the chest piece, if I unequip my chest piece, I'm still doing more damage, which means that if you have the necessary items to make this build work, now the PoB doesn't have the resistance capped or anything, so I will give you guys this PoB in the descriptions below. But this is still more damage than the medium budget. On the other hand, it is going to be a bit tricky because you cannot play this unless you have the gloves from the mercenaries in 3.26. And you need minions have 100% of either fire, lightning, or cold converted to chaos. I don't know if the other versions exist, but we know that fire damage exists. And these are only available from mercenaries in 3.26. So if you get the fire version, I don't even know if the others exist, but the fire version puts us in a position where you can use combat focus duels to make your prismatic skeleton mages not choose cold and the other one not choose lightning. Therefore, you only have fire skellies, and all of their fire damage is now converted to chaos damage, which means that duels and whatnot can run with other types of modifiers. You can run chaos on them, you can run fire on them because it's all getting converted. So there's a lot of options in what you can do with this. The gearing is exactly the same as the medium budget, except for the combat focus replaces 2 of your ghastly eye jewels, and you'll have to use these gloves. Now, without a body armor, you're able to do this, which is kind of crazy. However, you're going to need these things, but because of the fact that it's already doing more damage than the regular medium budget version, without a body armor means that if you do get these gloves, I don't know how they're going to be priced, if they're going to be rare, I have no idea, but if you do get access to them, you can help your resistances by just using a corrupted 6-link chest piece, sort the rest of the other gear pieces. There's a lot of ways to solve the problems that this would impose on the build. It might even be cheaper, but since I don't know, I didn't want to include this in the guide. But this is what it looks like. And I've made a lot of changes in custom modifiers. I'll show you that in this video so that if you use this PoB, you can understand what makes this thing actually showcase and work in the PoB, because these things are not updated in PoB yet. So I've been, doing everything I can to bypass the restrictions of PoB. So essentially, we're doing Chaos Skeletal Mages. And if you have the lightning version, you would make sure that your combat focus gives you only lightning. If you have the cold version, if they even exist, you would make sure the combat focus makes you only have cold. So it doesn't really matter, but if that exists, that makes it even easier to make this work. So if you use a Covenant chest, that's another 2 million DPS. If you use a Vis Mortis, that is, again, another 2 million DPS. The difference between a Covenant and Vis Mortis is 1.5 thousand DPS, which is nothing. Except that Vis Mortis is ridiculously cheap compared to a Covenant. So obviously we're running Vis Mortis, putting us from 8.9 to 11 million, which will be higher when the PoB is updated with the increased efficiency of spell echo support. However, we are going to be using the same gems, except for a few things that is changing. Let's see if I can find it. I am blind. There it is. We will actually be using the Chaos Golem, which gives us Chaos Resistance, but we'll be using the one with the Withered effect, which is really cool. And the Withered effect, I've added in a custom configuration here. I call it stupid testing because I didn't think this was going to work. But this is increasingly increased effect of withered by your minions, and because this is a PoE, I think there is a way to do it, but this is how I did it. PoE is considered this to be only when I apply withered, so I did add a custom modifier into the wand saying that I'm inflicting withers, so now PoE thinks that all of the withers is coming from me, and therefore I could use this modifier that increases the damage. We're also changing the curse, which is not going to be Sniper's Mark. Instead, we're running Despair, but we're still doing crit fresh meat setup like we have with all of our Skelly builds right now, but everything else is the same. And we're running a Pain Artist on the one of our Spectre choices. We're still running Zealotry because the Pain Artist is mostly there for the crit multi. So do keep that in mind. We're still going to run Zealotry. Nothing else would beat it. And that's basically the setup. The skill tree is exactly the same except for the Ascendancy nodes. And the Ascendancy node, we're actually skipping Commander Darkness, which is why the resistances is not properly set right now. And that's because we want Unholy Might. This converts 100% of minions' physical damage to chaos. We don't deal physical damage, but we're taking this exclusively for the Withered. And since our minions are hitting, we find out, 3.21 times per second times 12 minions, and then multiply that by 0.25, that gives us 9.6 withers per second on average, and the last 2 seconds, that's 19.26 withers over the course of the duration for each wither, which means that the cap is 15 withers. You're always going to have that, and the golem will apply withers, and as well as your other minion specters and AG, like you'll be fine with applying the withers this way, and you'll actually end up with more damage. But again, I don't know if this is going to be expensive, but I just wanted to show you guys this, that the idea is the medium budget mage skeletons, but you're basically applying combat focus with minion conversion of elemental and minion damage on your gloves to chaos, which is only found on mercenaries. To make this happen, you can have a corrupted 6-link, but best damage would for your bang for your buck would be Vis Mortis. The Covenant is 1,500 DPS better. Like it's not worth the money, so just go for Vis Mortis, which obviously means that Vis Mortis is so cheap that you might even find corrupted versions with level gems and whatnot. So it's pretty cool. I really like the idea of this. I'm very excited for it. But like I said before, I'm going to show you guys, I'll leave a link in the descriptions down below to this PoE. It is very wonky because I made a lot of manual changes to it. So don't treat this as a guide or anything. I just wanted to showcase that Chaos Mage Skeletons is actually functional. And if I do get access to gloves like this, I will personally be playing this before I go into the Lightning version of the Doriani Mage Skelly high budget version. But that's the Chaos Mages. And yeah, it's going to play the exact same way as the other builds. It's just going to do more damage, which is pretty funny. But there it is. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Chaos Mage Skeletons. I never thought I'd ever say that, but it works. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, stay safe. Keep rocking.